Greetings everyone. It looks like the Drive 14 is postponed, sadly, due to the Assetto Corsa outage of the front-end server, so I thought I will drive, well, since probably online doesn't work at all, I will make a setup for the old Fiat, since I promised I will. Not too happy that I have to, but
Right.
this is how it is.
Consistency. Try to be fast, but don't push it over the limit.
Let me just reset the VR positioning. Okay. And set up. I don't even remember the pressure. It was something like this. Much less toe at the rear. Much less camber. Wow. 20.6, that's a lot. Let's try like 18, although that is still a lot. Electronics. No idea what this car needs. 44 liters as usual. That is some fine-tune settings, I can do that. Like 50, 12. Let's try very aggressive brake bumps first. Bump stops. Brake bumps are in mountain biking, not here. And no front bump stops. I don't know about the steering ratio, we will find out. Don't touch the dampers yet. 2.2 max swing and like 50 mil of rake. It's a mid-engine car, it does not need that much rake. I think that will be our blind start. Hopefully I can type my... Yep. And let's drive a bit. Oh, that's weird. Okay. 2 dashboard, race and quali. And position. Much further back. I like to sit at the back. A bit up. And to the left so it looks better on the VR stream. I have a lot of force feedback. And I removed my force feedback change. So I have to find it first. There it is, and maybe do something like, I don't know, plus minus 9 and 3. Or it was, were those? Nope. Those were not binded to anything, so I'm fine, like 9 and 3. And 7. Okay.
Green light, go, go, go.
Feels okay. That is the beauty of the ability to change it anywhere. Okay, the high caster is very weird. Okay, increase the brake bias, like 52. That's weird, when you increase the brake bias it changes the dash. Exit rotation is shite, like non-existent, except when the turbo picks up. I guess it's a turbo. TC we are on? TC3 and... oops. Is it like other...
Right, this session is about consistency. Try to be
other
fast, but don't
Ferraris?
push
It
over the
needs
limit.
more TC? Like some TC2 and like 5? Let's try 5 and 0. And some front wheel rate already, and the brake bias is like somewhere there. As I said, I'm fully blind with this car. No idea with the quirks. Let's give it a few TC2.
Green light, give it all you can.
We are at 5.2. And the car is very happy to dive under braking. Uncomfortably happy to dive. And do weird things off throttle. I mean off brake. Okay, that's way too much brake.
Alright mate, this session is about consistency. Try to be fast, but
Also,
not pushing too much over the limit.
it's very eager to turn, so less steering ratio and like much less rake. And I was 5.2, but I can still play around.
Green light, give it all you can.
It's much less fish waving under braking. Decreased rake helped, of course, as expected. a lot of off-throttle rotation. I will see how much deadly it is in the fast corners. I should put in a lap, just like doesn't care how fast or slow it is. That was very scary to have no tech for the dampers, but at this rate. Hello Martin. I don't know, it's still fun to drive because I remember I drove it like twice for 5 minutes in 1.8 and did not drove it since that. But it's snappy and I don't know what traction control is the usual. If you have any clue for normal traction control settings, that would be a great input, by the way. Right now I am 5 on TC1 and 2 on TC2. Just eyeballed it because 3 and 0 was way too snappy. Hi there. And currently I am just making a very safe lap with this snap off throttle oversteer. So I will have some Motec damper charts to eyeball the dampers, like just a bit. Something useful. Other than that, it's not a bad car or something. I don't like the sound, just boring. Visibility is great. I have a useful rear view dash. That's always a good thing in VR. It's a bit small and a bit off to the side, but it's great to have. Seven and 2, okay, could be. Five two was not bad, by the way. I don't know if this car is like TC cut. Yeah, it's cut, so it's the old way, not lot and long, but sensitivity and cut amount. So 7 is like a lot of small cuts. It could be useful for the micro slides that Ferraris have, like trademark. Best sounding? It has a few nice parts of the sound. Like off throttle is like that's good. I like that, but on the throttle is just boring. But it's miles ahead the M4 and the 296. That's true. Just a bit too high pitched for me. I guess that's my issue with it. But my favorite sounding cars are the Bentley and the Jag. And maybe the Lexus is very close. At that left window cut, I always think my minimap is on. You don't see it probably in the stream, but I see it on my left eye perspective vision or peripheral vision. Yes, the M4 and the 296 sounds like coffee grinder. Okay, one super slow lap, but not that is in. So I can go check the motor.
Alright mate, this session is about consistency. Try to be fast, but don't push it too much over the limit.
If the Windows shift left button, oh great, I can shift my Motec with keyboard buttons to the left screen and right screen, so I don't have to fish it back over the OBS on the laptop. It's a very good thing to do. Oh yeah, the 992 has great sound. Hello Aspro, it's always nice to see you here. So Motec, there's our charts. It looks like, by the glance I made, we are underdampened in the fast, both, and like I don't even know what this shark tail format does or why it is in the slow, but first I will ramp up the, like, give 5, yeah, 5, 3 here, 4 I guess, and to the shark tail, that means the bump is overdamped. And the rebound is underdamped a bit. Since we have a lot of off-throttle snap, I increase the rear rebound more. And I will increase the front bump back. But as always, I should aim for using the dampers for what they are, dampening, not handling the car. Let me check the suspension travel. We are on the bump stops a lot. You can see the front bump stops are activated a lot. And the rears are too. And the rears are not giving into the suspension, so like there's no cut. Where's my mouse? So there's no cut here at the top. That's very good. So what I will do to even more decrease the off-throttle snap is to decrease the ride height on the rear, so less rake, less diving, and I will use the bump stop range at the rear, decreasing it even more and softer. Like, let's try an extreme, like how low we can go with this car. It's very soft bump stop, so when they activate gradually. But very low range, so they activate very soon, like on throttle soon, and that's a lot of changes. Let's try it. Oh yeah, and like 2.6 TC, I mean 60 TC. So I did not pay attention to the straight line speed, like how much wind we can use. It's always a different thing in Nordschleife because of the physically smaller wing for most cars. Like the Jag did not have that, I remember. Already much better in the turn. Like, not want to kill me as much. It still wants to kill me off brake. I gave it 53 brake bias. 2 clicks more. This still rotates nicely on the brakes. Okay. It still understeers a bit out of corner, but it's more balanced, like not rotating like hell while off throttle, and understeer like awfully on throttle. So it's close to each other, which I always like to set up the cars like that they do the same trajectory while coasting and while on the throttle. So they are predictable to make a nice curvy exit. So far the rear did not bounce. Actually, it is surprisingly planted. But we will see in the fast left-hander when I have to shift down to 5th and ride the bumps. I'm in the curve. How planted it is over curves. That's a very good test for it. Also, these first few second gear corners are good tests for it. Still a bit scary there. I kept in some throttle to keep locking the diff. But nowhere near it was as stable as I would have liked. So this next corner I was talking about, curbs. Yep. Nothing serious, except I forgot to brake there. But I still don't like that it rotates a lot off throttle, so I will give it just a tiny bit of rear toe and make it flat. No, that's too much. Some front wheel rate. And as I said, was that enough data for the Motec? Yes, it was. Except it wasn't, but I have to cut it. No, it was not enough, sadly. But I will just try more rate for the bump stops. I will leave the brake bias at the 52.6. It was not bad at 53, but since I increased the front wheel rate and the rear toe a bit, it should be more stable under shifting the load to the front. Also, that should push the rear down more, like squat more under acceleration, so it should be more stable on throttle, slow speed. On high speed it will hit the bump stops anyway, so it won't help much. It does a bit, but the bump stop will overweight the weight shift. Okay, 52.6 is still too much brake bias. Hello, Tommy. That's very nice to hear. I guess that was the Nordschleife. Yeah, the BMW is really a good choice for the Nordschleife, and I am happy how I could set it. Like, it's super stable, rotates great under throttle, like one of the best rotation on the high-speed parts. You can flat out a lot of corners with it, and it's still not scary to drive, so I'm glad you like it too. .4. I still felt too much on brake rotation. On throttle high speed is great. Let's see if the toe and the front wheel rate stabilize the car here. I will lift more here just for test it out. Yeah, good, very good. That was unnecessary amount of lift. I just wanted to test out how much the front end grips there with lifting. So I artificially made a worse scenario. When the front still dives too much. Could it be that I have to use bump stops with this car on the front? That was a long time I had to do that with any car. We will see. I will probably have to, because in the low speed part it's not as agile as here. Yep, thank you for killing me.
Right, this session is about consistency. Try to be fast, but don't push it over the limit.
Less dive. Less rake for less diving. I said it was like 40. Also, not yet. Let's use those from the bomb stop so they work something.
Green light, go, go, go.
Slow speed rotation was bad there, but I think I did not use as much steering input as I should have. Although it was better too, and I definitely used the right amount. I managed to really kill the rotation. A bit too much, I guess. But we will see. Tires are still way not up to pressure, so it's too early to judge. So this is the stable part of the train, like smooth tarmac, unlike latter, when the dampers are more active. Car is surprisingly stable coming off from that curb. I expected worse from driving on woodblocks, what I usually say for this car, but it looks like the ride height really saves it. Probably what kills it on normal tracks is that it doesn't have the overpowered hitbox as the modern car. Okay, rotation there was actually worse, like bad. Try TC5. 5-0. Slow speed rotation is actually meh now. High speed off throttle is balanced. and high speed on brake is okay too. Back to TC6. So the car is actually decent to drive now, like it's stable, but it's limiting me way under the limit with the understeer. I will read your comment in just in a minute in the straight path. Hello, John. That's nice to hear. Yeah, Spy is hard with the 992, so don't be harsh on yourself. You have to practice a lot. Even muting the car down that much as I did, it's still a tricky to drive car on the brakes. So the engine is at the back. You cannot change that. No amount of setup can. Just keep practicing, it will be fine. So I was saying the car is now understeering, but the good thing is it understeers everywhere the same amount. I should not break that, never mind. Understeers everywhere in the same amount, so the balance is okay. It's just too limiting. What I will do is just give back everything a bit. So more reverse steer in every scenario basically, except on the brake. So I will give it more rake, decrease the toe back, the rear toe back to 0, and that should mostly do it. Also, I will check the dampers to be as close to the ideal distribution as it's possible. And try to solve the dynamic characteristics of the car with other tools. Oh, that was scary. Oh, and I will check the top speed now, the straight, which could be an issue because that if that is very low, like 27 low, 70 low, I will have to decrease the rear wing, which will screw a lot of other part of the setup. But let's see. Maybe the Fiat surprised me. I think it won't. I think it will be low 270 with max swing, but let's see. Usually where I measure the minimum is at the uphill part. There's a big billboard at the right, 275, 6. That's good. So I usually here 276. Okay, that's good. I mean that's mid-pack, nothing to worry about. And I checked the dip too. That's 284. That's also very good. And that was scary. So we can stay on max swing. And curves are great. I mean, surprisingly great. So more track time again.
Alright mate, this session is about consistency. Try to be fast, but don't push it too much over the limit.
And here is our if you check the rear bump stop, the rear suspension, you can see there's a why you are not moving. There's a limit on the rear travel range, like where's my noise? Like here. I won't see what I'm doing, so I will grab back the screen for a sec. If you compare it to one of our earlier laps, you can see the rear could move more, but it was not reaching this part of the travel that much. Also, by feel, I could not feel these hard bottoming outs, like having big bumps when landing from a curve or whatever. But I definitely won't decrease the rear bump stops more, the range. Maybe increase it by 2 and stiffen it up a bit. The dampers are yeah, flat. The rear ones are really in the rebound range, but I don't want to spread it that much to bump. I will increase the rear fast bumps because those are very, very flat. And the fronts are decently symmetrical, so what I surely will do is more fast bumps and just one click more fast bump at the front. I will correct the front and rear symmetrically, but not that much. I still want to let the car squat a bit. And as I also said, I will give it back one rake, the toe, and oh, it was okay, that's weird. And some bump stop range at the rear, so it can move a bit more, but then will stiffen up more. TC6 was okay, ABS free. Let's try that. And the wing was fine, so let's try it now. Oh, I did not check the tire taps pressures. The front we need one in both, like here. Arnold, servers are up. Yay, servers are up. And then the rear we need +1 everywhere. Hello Jens, sorry I don't speak German. The name is just a pun. Why it's not letting me give it back? Oh, come on, yes, Thank you. So I will need 1 clicks of pressure everywhere.
Right, this session is about consistency. Try to be fast, but don't push it over the limit.
Well, I'm having fun here, Arnold. Don't you see? I'm driving the old Fiat shitbox. Arnold is one of my area friends. That's why I'm pulling his leg more than I usually do. Oh, don't start speaking German here, please. I don't understand the word. And you can if you really want to. I just won't be able to communicate with that. Oh yeah, that's an easy win. Wish you good luck with that. Are you still driving the M4 now? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That was not something I would like. Good choice. I'm glad you deviated from the shitbox. I'm not glad that I had to tell you it for 2 months and you did not listen. Then like I think Ike or someone just joined in and said you should drive another car and you hopped into another car. I will never forget that for you. Never. Okay, that's a lot of snaps. Too much snapping. Let's go back to the last iteration and just only change the parts. I said I will change and don't touch the dampers yet to find out. Don't save. No, I won't save. Find out that the dampers made it deadly or something else. Also, it could be that the rear bump stops made it deadly, but they are engaging already a lot, like it should not be that snappy. Sorry. Yeah, it was either the dampers or the rear the bump stops made it deadly. But nonetheless, the car is handling nicely, like I did in the last full lap iteration. But since I give it less tow, less positive tow, and 1 mil of rake, which is weird. It should not be that much difference, but it is. It is rotating much more now. Okay, that was a bit scary there. What I will try, because I'm curious, like compared to the fourth, to the last full lap, the only difference is 1 click of toe and 1 click of ride height, which is basically no change also. It's, I forgot to do that. I'm curious that it is changed by the toe or the rake. I guess it's the toe, because basically 0.03, 01 and 02 is double the amount, which sounds scary, but that's true mathematically. So I decrease the toe back and see what's what. But it's still scary that 1 click here and 1 click there makes a huge difference in the car. It's really a fine edge to have. I'm not really fond of this huge reaction for small changes things. It's not realistic. Yep, it was the toe, I guess. But we will see in the fast section, or bumpy section. Oops. Was that damage? Like nothing, okay. driver issue. Actually drive that curb great, which is super surprising for this car because it was like famously bad on curbs, but I guess that was due to bottoming out. And since we have 7 millimeters of minimum ride height, it just does not bottom out here, so it's not that prevalent an issue. By the way, this drives great now, except that low speed trail braking or mid-low speed trail braking oversteer in the long right-hander after the 6th gear left-hander. But I will check the front bump stops for that corner. Let's see if it oversteers here too. Nope. Need that downhill extra to get the issue. Still scary on the brakes a bit, but otherwise it does not scare you that much, except that. So I increase the brake bias. I will check that limiting the front movement with some bump stop could solve those few outlier issues without making the car oversteer in other parts of the track. Because otherwise the car drives... Oh, that was scary. The car drives great. Except this some fishtailing under braking. Actually, I'm surprised how great this car drives here. I expected much worse due to the reputation of its lack of suspension. But no, it's not the suspension as I said, it's the hitbox. Speed is still decent. Let's see how deadly it is in the last corners. Mediocre deadly. I had to be careful with my steering wheel during the hard braking, but not full death. Okay, so I said I will save it with this amount of brake bias and check the, well, I checked the tires again because I think I did not change the tires for the fourth iteration. Yes, we basically need one more at the rear and the front is alright. The dampers are back where they were. And as I said, I have to regenerate the track. Uh-oh. Cancel. I won't regenerate the track because it made weird things. The fast right-hander was here. Oh, and the track map. Give me back my track map. And I wanted to check the front bump stops in that corner. So basically here. That's weird. They are activated a lot. They are activated everywhere, that's weird. Give me a sec. As you can see in the oversteer curve, there was the huge oversteer under braking here. And if I can click on the right, the bump stops were activated here. So there's not much useful to decrease the range of the front bump stops and make it worse everywhere else because they are activated a lot. But I can increase the bump stop rate a bit so they stiffen up more and don't let me dive that much there. Like 3 clicks. I don't want to stiffen it up much more. because that would result the car understeer more in high speed corners, because it will go into the bump stop. Also I can put back the range to max. And I don't want that. I only want to solve those very high braking issues. So that's the tires. Yeah, not the best. But hopefully with that bump stop rate increase, it won't let the car dive that much at the end of the travel. So it's like a bump stop. And I said we need more bump at the rear. That will make the car a bit more oversteery, but the chart was very far off, so I don't like having that far from natural distribution, because that really dives into the fraction part of the tire. Brake bias is changed. Yeah, 53.8. Also with the front bump stop rate increase, we are not... We could probably use a bit less brake bias, but I will check that later. It's not that a huge change that would always result one click less useful brake bias, but could be. The slow speed part, there's some more on throttle rotation, but that is expected because I increased the rear bump dampers, so it won't let the car squat that fast, so it loses a little bit of traction in the rear. But it's still far from unmanageable. Like, if it's too much for someone, just increase the TC by one click. What concerns me is that I still not has the amount of, or have the amount of mid-speed on throttle rotation, which I hope I will gain back with the rear bump damper increase, but no. So I will have to increase the rear bump stops a bit if I want more rotation there. Well, I could do many things, but as I said many times, I like how driving on the rear bump stops is, because it has not much disadvantages, unlike having stiffer rear springs. Yep, still oversteers there. It's not unmanageable, it's just unnecessary, killing the tires. So stiffer rear springs or stiffer rear anti-roll bar could help in that part, but that affects the slow speed on throttle rotation too a lot, while bump stop doesn't much, because the car does not reach them basically. I will read the comment in a minute. I just don't like to pause in parts where something is coming up. I always screw up when I unpause the game there. No, I change the traction control when it's necessary. Usually, I try to find a sweet spot, which is different for all the cars, and stick around that for various reasons. Like, for example, the Porsche, I keep it on high, like 5, which is basically unnecessary high, but I do it for keeping the rear tires alive more. So I am trying to minimalizing slight with that. For other cars, I try to set it around 3. Most cars are decent at 3, so I do that for if someone is more advanced on the throttle pedal than I am, which is not a hard thing to do because I'm such a brick-legged people. He can lower the TC and be faster with my setup. Yet if you need more stability, because you are even more of a brick leg than me, then you can just have room to increase the traction control. Oops. Kissing that curb always a bad idea. Snap there again. I have to solve this with dampers. There's just not much other way around. Because I don't want to introduce oversteer. I don't want to decrease the rake, because that will introduce understeer. In the... Sorry, it's really hard to drive and speak here. That will make understeer in the coasting phase, and I like how the coasting is now. I don't want to introduce understeer neither on throttle slow, neither on throttle mid to high speed part. So the two thing I will do to get those snaps off is muten the suspension a bit with more front damper and more rear rebound, and the usual increase the brake bias, and I think I will go to ABS 5 like I did a second ago. My issue with increasing the rear rebound even more is that we'll make our rear distribution even worse, but losing some potential traction over the whole track, like a tiny amount, against having snaps is not a hard question to ask. Snaps are always the worst. Yeah, it was much more managed there. This way, so 54.2 and ABS 5.
Alright mate, this session is about consistency. Try to be fast, but don't push it
54.2, ABS 5, and more dampening at the front and more at the rear. And save that as 8. Also, the tires were okay. Identical tire life. That's weird. Oh, and I wanted to get more rotation under acceleration, so more bump stop rate at the rear. Let's see.
Green line, you look in.
Does not want to rotate now, so I go back to 53.8 brake bias. So far the setup is okay. I like it. It's a bit more bumpy. I don't know where we lost the bumpiness or bump resistance. Okay, not killing me there. I tried to give it more steering input than I should have. Did not kill me, so looks okay. A bit oversteer there, but downhill parts are always hard with me. rear engine braking. Mont Panorama. Okay, one click more. Brake bias. 54 flat. Probably the low tire pressures were more forgiving in that part. And still not enough on throttle rotation.
Alright mate, this session is about consistency. Try to be fast, but don't push it too much over the limit.
Let's try this. Let me clean up a bit. Okay, more diving. Brake bias, less squat at high speed. So should I try a bit less caster for that high speed issue, low speed trail braking issue? Could be worth a try. Just a sec. I'm getting messages and phone call. Sorry, but I have to leave.